All right, guys, this is part 2, starting at number 4. Let's see, 4a. So I'm just trying to solve these. So I'm going to just start distributing, because that's normally the first step in solving problems. You distribute whatever you can. Of course, I'm going to run out of room there. All right. And then you get, if you start putting like terms together, 2x minus 3x is negative x, and I got my minus 9 equals 4x minus 5x is negative x plus 8. And then, of course, when you try to get your x's together, you end up with nothing that makes sense, so it's no solution. The answer would be when negative 9 equals 8, and that never is true. So that's why there's no solution. So if the x's want to leave, let them go. That's awesome. B, I know is going to be different because there's an x squared in there. So the very first thing I've got to do is get it equal to 0. And we talked about why that's true, because it's the only number that I can actually say something about. And whenever the middle term is 1 off from the last term, you know it's going to be that number and 1. So it's 7 and 1, and the 7 has to be negative to make it come out negative 6. And then I get 7 and negative 1. Q. I don't have to check the answers because the original didn't have any rational expressions. So there's no x's that would have made something undefined. Okay. C is an inequality. So let me go ahead and distribute. I don't have to worry about the inequality at first. I just start acting as if it's just a normal thing to solve. 2x minus 4x is negative 2x. And then I get negative 2x plus 6, 8 minus 2. And then the 2x's cancel. That's interesting. So I get 12 greater than 6, which is always true, so the answer is all real numbers. Since I technically said to do it in interval notation and graph, this is what it would look like. Shade everything. So again, you interpret this step the same as you always do. If it's a true statement, it's all real numbers. If it's not a true statement, it's no solution. Now for systems of equations, it's a little different because the answer won't be single numbers, so it'll be points. But part D is an old version of the new, what do you call it? Rational expressions that we worked with. This one's kind of nice. It's easy to make everything 12. Just multiply this guy by 4, Jeff. You could do it, buddy. Don't just write what you see. Times 2. So then this becomes 8x over 12 minus 10 over 12 equals x plus 7 over 12. Then I can multiply by 12 and kill all the bottoms. So then I get ax minus 10 equals x plus 7. Subtract x, add 10, divide by 7. That's what I get. That's my story. Let's see. Does it look right, Jeff? Maybe. 8x minus 10. Yes. All right. Moving on. There's our system of equations. So now in part E, I got 3x minus 5y equals 2. If I multiply the second one by 5, I'll get negative 10x plus 5y equals 5. And the reason I did that is because now the y's will cancel. So x is negative 1. And then I can take this guy and put a negative 1 into it, the second equation, the second original equation, and now I can solve for y. So subtract 2 and get y is negative 1. So they were both negative 1, the little sneaky things. So that's the elimination method. You could have used substitution, but why? Now F, I'd say go ahead and use substitution because it's sort of set up that way. So y is 2x. So in the second equation it says 3 times y, but let me replace y with what it is. It is 2x. So then I got 6x minus 4x is 8, 2x is 8, x is 4. And if x is 4, y is twice that, so y is 8. Let's see if that makes sense. 24 minus 16 is 8. Yes, good. So I was just checking it by plugging in the x and the y into the second equation, and sure enough, it worked. I think G is another one we did in class. Your group. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we did it, so I'm going to do it a little bit quickly. So it's 4 terms, so you go ahead and group. Notice when you took a -9 out, that 45 becomes -5, right? Then you can take an x minus 5 out, and you're left with x squared minus 9. So then that you can factor. And so you get 5, -3, and 3 as your answers. Which makes sense. We got 3 answers because the highest power was 3. Okay. Oh, let's see. H is another inequality. Let's see if it comes out to be something a little less freaky this time. I'm going to go ahead and distribute what I can. Let's see. I get -2x minus 15 less than or equal to 5x minus 8. Subtract 5x. Add 15. I get -7x less than or equal to 7. Divide by -7. I get x greater than or equal to -1. Got to flip the signs. So then that would be -1 to infinity, right? -1 has a bracket because it's included. And then I would just do -1. Kamehameha. Kabam. Kame. Let's see. I'm trying to do it in my head real quick. It looks like it's right. Yes. Okay. So that's H. And then I is one of the more newer ones. Let me go ahead and factor the bottom of this first dude, that's the first step, of course. And then I can see what these guys are missing. Crappy do that. Let me leave a little bit of room. Put him over 1. So he needs an x plus 3. And let me be a little smart about this. He needs both, and both is x squared minus 9. So then the bottoms cancel, multiply both sides by them. I get x squared minus 3x minus 9 equals x squared minus 9. Does this sound familiar? Yeah, I think so. Well, let's find out. The x squares go away. I can add 9s, and they go away. Is this really right, Jeff? Let me double check here. Yeah, that's right. So then I get, -3x equals 0. This always trips people up, but you just divide by -3x is 0. And if you check it, it actually works. It's crazy. And it's not 3 or -3, so that won't make these undefined, so you don't have to throw it out. So that one I guess we didn't do in class because I don't remember doing that with you guys before. All right. 5. Finding the intercepts is like if you make, so 6x minus 5y equals 15. The intercepts and the slope. So if I solve for y, I get a couple things. Let me get the x-intercept from this. So if I make y 0, I get 15 over 6. Should I show all this work? All right. To get the x-intercept, to make y 0. So that's 6x equals 15. Divide by 6, I can reduce that by 3. So I get 5 halves. So the x-intercept is 5 halves, 0. If I solve for y, and you guys can do this, I'll get 6/5 x minus 3. So then the y-intercept is right there. The yp is 0, -3. And the slope is 6/5. And let me see. Graph. It says to graph it. All right. So the nice thing is 0, -3. So then I go up 6 over 5. And let's see. It's supposed to go through 5 halves, 0. And if my scale was better, it would go through 2.5. But my scale kind of sucks. But that's all right. That was a little quick. I'm a little tired. All right. And then, let's see, 6a. If I do this, if I solve for y, and again, you guys can solve for y. If I solve for y, I get this. And then I'm not going to do 6b because we did that in class. I'm going to start to kind of pick and choose here. because I'm kind of running on fumes. So 0, 4 is the y-intercept. Look how it wants me to go up 3 over 2, but let me go down 3, back 2. It's the same thing. And what kind of line is it going to be? Solid. And then if I plug 0, 0 into 0 bigger than 0 plus 4, is 0 bigger than 4? No, so it's going to go that way. Done. And then part B we did in class, so I'm not going to do it again. And I think we did 7A in class. Let me see. Did we do 7B? Yes. So let's do 8. I'm pretty sure we did 8 also. Let me do 8 real quick. F of 4, if you look at the f function, it's 2 times x, which is 4, minus 1, so that's 7. B is g of negative 2, which would be 4 minus negative 2 over negative 2, which is 6 over negative 2 is negative 3. C is f of w, so that's 2 times w minus 1, done. D is h of negative 5, which is negative 5 squared minus 1, which is 25 minus 1 is 24. And then the domain of G, all right, you guys can pause the video if you want to. Okay. The domain of G, the bottom can't be 0. Ah, done. Done. All right, I'm going to post this now.